What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a little bit of a look at a brand new Transformers card, the second proper card we've seen from the upcoming War for Cybertron Siege 2, Wave 4 as it were. The other day we had a look at Trypticon, which isn't really a card from the set. It is a box promo, buy a box, get a Trypticon. And we had a look at Battlefield Incursion, which is a card from the set, incidentally. It is one of the battle cards. Well, today we need to have a look at one of the other battle cards that's going to be coming out in the set. And it's the second one, which is only for Trypticon. Now, what's really weird here, there's only 64 battle cards in the set, and we've seen 2 of them, and they're both for Trypticon. Now, the good news is if you buy a box, you'll have Trypticon. The other good news is that every time anyone buys a box, there will be a copy of Trypticon out there. So it's going to be less rare than any of the rare characters, because you don't get each rare character in a box. So it's going to be more common than any rare character. There's going to be plenty of Trypticon out there. But it is kind of strange that there are 2 cards for 1 character just in the set, that we never know if we'll get more Trypticon in the future. It is called Relentless Invasion, and the first thing to notice about it, it has a white pip, an orange pip, and a blue pip. Now, to be fair, this is not that unique, because we saw this exact same pip combination on a card in Wave 3. Anyone remember which one? It was Fuel Cash. Fuel Cash also came along with an orange, a blue, and a white. They're in the same order. That makes me happy. Now, the other thing to notice about Relentless Invasion is the same thing to notice about Fuel Cash. It is a star card. That means that it takes up one of your 25 stars when you're building a deck. Hey, remember the other day when I looked at Trypticon and we found out it was a 24-star character? And I suggested this was a little bit weird. It was basically just a Decepticon version of Metroplex. Why would it not just be a 25-star character? This is really strange. Well, one of the things we need to remember when we're looking at these spoilers for the new set is that we don't have all the information. Clearly, the reason why it's a 24-star character is because you're expected to play 1 copy of this with Trypticon. Cool. But what does it actually do? Well, it's an action card that reads, if you have Trypticon Assault Base on the battlefield, put Full Tilt, Wipeout, and Brunt from your KO area onto the battlefield, fully repaired. The characters put onto the battlefield this way attack this turn. At the end of turn, put each of those characters that's still on the battlefield under Trypticon. Yeah, this is what we expect from a star card. This is absolutely, unquestionably, flat out phenomenal. The fact that it's got all 3 of the battle icons in and of itself is awesome. But what this does is so good. So, when you've got Trypticon, you do have 3 characters, Full Tilt, Wipeout, and Brunt, and just like with Metroplex, those 3 characters start underneath Trypticon, and hopefully they get deployed during the game. But now, when they're KO'd, you play this, and then they all come back, and you get essentially a free all-out attack. Now, it's not quite all-out attack. If I'm reading this correctly, and we'll probably have a rules confirmation soon, but if I'm reading this correctly, those 3 characters attack at the end of turn. Or as many as you get. As with all cards, if you can only get 2 of them back, you only get 2 of them back. Incidentally, this is not optional. If there's 2 in the KO area, you have to bring 2 back. Not entirely sure why you wouldn't want to bring them all back, but just as a side note, not optional. And then they've got to attack, the implication being that Trypticon does not attack. And that is potentially a downside. I mean, if all you do is bring back Brunt, bit of alliteration there. If all you do is get Brunt, then you essentially end your turn with Brunt attacking. And I think it's fair to say, I don't think it's terribly rude to assert, that Trypticon is a better attacker than Brunt. Trypticon has an attack of 6, And if you KO one of your other characters, you get +3 attack until end of turn. So you're potentially looking at an attack of 9 there. That's pretty good. Whereas Brunt is sitting there with an attack of 3. To be fair, attack of 3 for a 4-star character is great, but it's still not particularly inspiring. So if you get all 3 of them back, then yeah, okay, you're attacking with your free attack Brunt, but you're also attacking with Full Tilt, who potentially has, well, let's assume they're both in bot mode. You're sitting there with an attack of 2, and Wipeout is sitting there with an attack of 3, which gives you a combined 8, which is better than Trypticon, as long as you haven't KO'd one of them during the turn. But getting them all back is great. Getting to attack with 3 of them is great. And then they all go back under Trypticon, ready to essentially be deployed as you go. Now, to be fair, putting them under Trypticon, it's not perfect. You'd rather have them left out on the field. But if they're in the KO area, you can't do too much. Here, you absolutely can. You attack with them all, and off you go. So there are several upsides here. You get them all back, and you get to attack with them all at once. And obviously there's a really nice combo with Trypticon here, the bot mode. When you flip into bot mode, you may KO one of your other characters, give yourself +3 attack until end of turn, or repair 3 damage. So what you can do here, flip into bot mode, repair 3 damage, play this, attack with your other 3. Obviously, you don't want to give yourself +3 attack and then attack with the other 3 characters. That would be silly. Attacking ends your turn, so if you attack with the other 3, you shouldn't be attacking with Trypticon. That seems... yeah, that seems to be the case. I don't think you get to attack with Trypticon as well. It seems to be forcing you into attacking with the little boys, but you get to attack with all of them. So you kind of need to do it for repairing, but that's fine. If you've got 2 in the KO area, 1 on the field, KO the 1 on the field, repair the 3 damage, play a Relentless Invasion, you are off. Now, there are some fairly significant downsides with this card. As much as I love it, and I do, there are significant downsides. One of the downsides here is that we've already seen that deploying these bots from under Trypticon is pretty difficult. You have to play a battlefield incursion, and you can only put 3 of them in your deck. So once you've deployed them all, you then play Relentless Invasion. You have to have reshuffled your scrap pile into your deck in order to have any hope of getting another battlefield incursion. And even if you do, you're still having to wait to get them all out. That's not ideal. It's much more difficult than with Metroplex to deploy these, and putting them back under is a bit of a pain. It would be way better if it left them out, but then again, that might make it too good. The other huge downside here is that it doesn't have a green icon. So if you flip it while attacking, you get +1 attack with the orange, and you flip 2 more cards with the white. If you flip it while defending, you get the +1 defense with the blue, and flip 2 more battle cards with the white. But you don't get it into your hand. And you're only playing 1 copy of this. Bearing in mind, it's only for Trypticon, and Trypticon can only play 1 copy. Nobody ever needs more than 1 copy of this card, unless you want to keep multiple Trypticon decks sleeved at once, which I suppose you might want to. Yeah. But even then, you get a Trypticon with every box, so yeah. There are going to be an awful lot of this card just lying around, because if there's more than 1 in a box, it's essentially a pointless card. Anyway, the point is, there's 1 in your deck, and you're hoping to draw into it and not flip it while attacking or defending. That's just a little bit unreliable. A phenomenal card, no doubt about the fact that it's a phenomenal card, but there are significant downsides. Having said that, it seems like a one-of in every Trypticon deck without thinking too hard. Now, I did say it was useless unless it's a one-of in a Trypticon deck. Not strictly true. Remember, we've still got the pip combination. We've still got the white, orange, and blue pip combination. So you may want to play it in a deck just for the pips, but bear in mind it's a star card. So you're playing it over something like Leap of Faith or Bolt of Lightning. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I am just saying you do need to be a little bit careful here, because it could... I'm not sure if it's always going to be the best use of deck space, put it that way. Either way, this is a great card in Trypticon decks, but I'd very much like to know what you think, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice, and then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk Transformers and any other games that take my fancy. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.